Okay. We can actually also do this on Facebook Live as well. Gonna be public. We might as well be public. You okay with that?
Yeah, just a second. I can see something I don't want to show.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it's thinking. One sec. Oh, I don't have a pen here. One sec. I left my notes downstairs. Burnout to
Balance.
Thank you.
I'll send you a little description of it too.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, we're gonna go live. Just learn to do the descriptions later, or the live thing doesn't. It gets all caught up in itself. So I'm not even going to add a title. Okay. Great. Our meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. So welcome to the Ladies Meeting Podcast. My name is Anyssa Jane, and I'm here today with Robyn Wyman, who's going to be our speaker at our next live event at the Ladies Meeting, which is held at the Sylvia Hotel in downtown Vancouver. If you want to find more information, you can send me a note if you're watching us live on Facebook. You can contact Robyn. She actually gets some bonus tickets to be one of our speakers, as she is a member of the Ladies Meeting group. And you can also find us on the entrepreneurcollective.com. So either website, you'll be able to find us, theladiesmeeting.com or the Entrepreneur Collective. Welcome, Robyn.
Hi, Anyssa. Thanks for inviting me to come out and talk about what I do and myself.
I love your topic, burnout to balance. It's so relevant. I was listening to, as we discussed earlier in the week, how Gen X women are really feeling stressed and really feeling burned out and being pulled at every end. We're stressing out our partners. We're stressed out at work. It just seems to be never ending. And I love that you've found some solutions. You've been doing a lot of energy work and healing work with people in all different dynamic situations. And I'm so glad that you're willing to talk to us about it.
It's a topic that it evolved for me because I work a lot with end of life, but I was finding that the family caregiver, the daughter who's in that sandwich generation, so, she may have aging parents, but she can have children at home, or she might have grandkids, but she's just being squashed in between. And I thought there was a huge niche there for women. They were all just overwhelmed, stressed, anxious. Then they were starting to isolate and then just shut down from everything because they just weren't coping well with things. And I just went, ooh, a lot of people need this. And then as I'm going along, I'm just going, this is a topic that everybody's feeling stressed and feeling anxious and overwhelmed. This is a really common thread through humanity, I think, at this time in our lives. We're so busy.
Well, and I know even just some of the brief conversations because I have parents that have just gone into homes. I have grandchildren.
Yes.
I have a son and a daughter who are both, mid-20s. And just having someone to talk to and go, you're normal. Or even when we talked the other day and you're like, wow, that went really fast. And I was like, wow, it felt like such a struggle. So I can't imagine, what other people are going through. It's so disruptive. Like we go all the way, do dream boarding, we do all these things, we make all these great plans and what we want to dream about, what we want to have, but we forget about all the things that we have to do, the real life stuff sometimes, the functional part of taking care of family and having extended family and everybody is important, right? And all the little
day-to-day really it's day-to-day life. I'm actually doing a talk on aromatherapy because I'm an aromatherapist. It's one of the tools that I use with people. And she contacted me, and I'm going to do it this month. And she said, would you come and just talk about aromatherapy? And I hadn't done that for a long time. And I went, sure. And she said to me, it's a soul-driven life. I don't want to talk about our dreams and inspirations and where we're going, goals, goal. What about just talking about balance and harmony? And I'm thinking that we're bringing just all of this back, grounding that back down. And that's a big part of my work, just helping people find that peace and balance in their life when they're feeling chaotic and it's out of control.
Yeah, well, and especially today with the plane being shot down, I think there's a lot of people feeling, I'm in Whistler, you're I think in Burnaby? No.
North Van.
Oh, you're in North Van. So huge community there that's feeling a lot of terrible sadness and loss today. So anything that we can do to bring peace to our own lives and radiate out into the world right now, super important.
Exactly. Because we can only do ourselves. We have self first. It has to start with ourselves.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's such a gift to keep sharing this. But we are doing the podcast today, and I always ask the same 8 questions. Any of them, you are welcome to turn them on their sides and do what you want with them. Okay. And if you've listened to, for anyone who's new to the podcast, this is a talk that is done to help the members within our group to get to know each other better, or for people who are thinking about joining us because we are a small group, get to know what we're about and who we are, because a lot of times people come to lunch and they don't know that many of us have been meeting for 3 years. We have alumni that have been meeting every month at the Sylvia for 3 years, and that's a long time to walk into and be the new person, right? So this is a great way to get to know each other. As well, we do one-on-ones. So if you are about to meet with somebody that you've maybe been having lunch with over the long term and you know they've been a speaker at the ladies meeting, you're going to meet with Robyn, for example, you can go and see the podcast we did and get to know a little bit about who Robyn is. So this isn't about necessarily what she does, but more about who she is as a person, and just help to build that know, like, and trust. So maybe you want to recommend her as a caregiver in what she does. And instead of just saying, here's her card, you can go, you know what, if you want to get to know Robyn a little better, go listen to the podcast she did with Anyssa. It tells you a little bit more about who she is and see if she's a good fit for you and what you want to do. So it's just been my way to bring our group a little bit together, even though I'm in Whistler and I come down there. The goal is eventually to have people flying in from anywhere just to come for lunch. And so, yeah, that's the goal. So, this is a great way to get to know you better. So I really thank you for being open to getting to know you better. At the meeting, we always say, we go around the table and we say, please don't tell us what you do. Please tell us a bit about who you are. And we say, I can, I have, I want, and tell us what those are when you go around the table. And some people who are new, they start going into their business. It's like, no, I want to get to know who you are before I even think about what your business is, and we'll see if we resonate and get into vibration with each other. So, so you've been to the prep page. You have some information on what I'm going to ask you, but first, a little story. I wanted to hear a little bit more because I thought it was really interesting about the photo shoot that you had done last year.
So I had my business rebranded a couple of years ago, and she's a graphic artist, and she's very visual, and she loves beauty, and I love beauty. So my colors are a soft gray and a green that I would, anyway, it doesn't matter. So she said to me, for your photo shoot, Robyn, you have to go out and get color, like clothing that would be appropriate for the photo shoot. So I went, oh, okay. So I go out and I'm at the store, and I'm not a big shopper. I get things when I need them, and I've got basics, but I like more casual wear every day. So I'm in the store and I'm sending her photos. She's actually away, so I'm WhatsApping her these photos, and does this top look okay? No, it's too casual, because I had some like sweaters. Sweaters are not going to go. You're not wearing sweaters. So everything I was choosing was a no, was a no, was a no. And then I had to pick jewelry. I've got everything laid out, and then I would send. It was like I felt like I was talking to my mom from when I was younger. It's okay to wear, Mom. Can I do this? So, but anyway, that it came together, and I have a couple of, like a white jacket and a green shirt, and I've expanded it since then. But it gave me direction and clarity because I could see where I was going off and on. And the photos came across and they look great. And I know that was a big part of it. And she said, I want you to go get your hair done. I want you to get your makeup done, like all this. So it was really a fun girly day for me, and things that I don't do a lot. I don't usually go get my makeup done, but it was fun. So I would suggest everybody, if you want to get professional pictures, like to take the time and decide to brand it to your business. So.
Well, and I have a friend, Hillary, up here in Whistler, and she owns Amos and Andy's, and she just had photos done. And it's really set her business, like as far as Instagram and things like that. I think it's given her confidence too, but she's really showing off her product, but she's got because it's a sweater shop, she's able to show off her family in her product. So it really ties in who she is. For those of that know her, she's really reflecting a lot of her personal life as well into this tiny little, she's got a little 300 square foot shop here in Whistler. And I love what she's had done. And I know the photographer that she hired really had a lot to do with it. For sure. And you always show up so professional looking at lunch, I gotta say.
I know how to look. My mom was very put together. I think it skipped the generation because my daughter's very that way. I kind of go, guys, help me with an outfit, please. But sorry, I'm at the end of a cold, so I might get a bit squeaky. But it was a lot of fun, and the photo shoot was fun because I'm not of the generation where we take a lot of pictures of ourselves. So it was very uncomfortable. And some of the positions she had me in, I would have not liked being a model at all because they were some of them are weird, but the photos look great. So it's fun though.
So funny because my mom sent me to modeling school when I was 13, and I got told my ankles were too fat. I'm 5'9". I have great big Scandinavian bones. I am not supermodel material at all. But I will say it was good finishing school. It was Blanche McDonald's in Vancouver. Got to hang out downtown. But to tell a 13-year-old they should lose weight on their ankles, like somebody should have been taken out and shot.
Wouldn't do that today. That just wouldn't happen.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I mean, I think we're all a little bit more awake to the, body image and things like that. But I still consider it a great experience to go and learn how to put my makeup on, and even just simple things as how to sit in a car and how to it was almost more like a finishing school than anything. And it was a great experience to learn how to walk in heels properly and things like that. But it was my mom's idea, I think. So that's the funny part.
I think your mom really probably wanted to go, right?
I think she wanted to do a lot of things, but she wasn't of the generation or from parents that let her do anything. Actually, she came from a Baptist background.
Okay.
Her cousins were allowed to do a lot of different things that she was not allowed to do. She wasn't allowed to learn to drive a car. She didn't learn to drive a car till I think she was 35 or 40.
Wow.
40 probably, because I remember it. So she had me when she was 30, so probably 40. She wasn't allowed to go to school dances. She wasn't allowed to do a lot of things, and she wanted me to do all those things, but it was I was really uncomfortable. I was a pretty gawky kid. So, but she brought in Vogue magazine and Vogue fabrics, which when you live in 100 Mile House, BC, not a lot of opportunity. It's like, that's really cool. It's beautiful, but I didn't know what to do with it. And I mean, now I'm really thankful for the opportunity and learning to sew and things. So
for sure.
So what are, number one question, what are the 3 most important things we should know about you? Oh, first of all, your business name before, not even included.
Okay, my business name is Circle of Life Center. That's the name of my business.
And they can find you at circleoflifecenter.com.
.ca.
.ca.
Yes.
And this will all be, look around this video, all of this stuff will be somewhere below or beside or whatever. Not hard to find. And Robyn's also, I believe, on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And she's also a member in the entrepreneurcollective.com. So 3 most important things we should know about you as a person. Okay.
I would say number 1 is that I am an optimist. And I've been through a lot of things in my life. As I shared with you the other day, we had a lot of deaths in our family when I was in my 20s and 30s, like in a short period of time. I've been through a divorce. 2 of my daughters have immune disorders. And no matter what, I don't know why you're born this way, but I've always seen the cup half full. I always know that it may suck where I am at the moment, but I'm going to be okay, and it's going to be okay. So I'm very grateful for that because it's walked me through a lot of challenging times in my life for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge one. Another one is that I, through all that experience, I really had to look about what I believed in and what my faith was and my spirituality, and that drives me. I really feel that I've kind of figured out what this schoolroom earth is all about and how to navigate it. And not all the time. Sometimes I get kicked off, but I get it, and I'm seeing it more as graduate school for souls in form. And this is a really tough place because we have beauty, and we have abysmal darkness, as we're seeing with the crash today. So how to navigate that through our mental, emotional, and physical and spiritual bodies. So I figured it out, and sometimes I just laugh at some things I'll be thinking or doing, and I'll go, oh, come on, you're a big being. We're all big beings here. That's one thing I would like to share today. So that drives my life for sure. It's been huge. And I'm not specifically a religion, but I definitely consider myself a very spiritual person. And another thing about me is I love to sing, and I can tell.
Uh-oh, I've lost you.
So
I lost you there for a second.
Did you?
Yeah, so I lost you at I can sing.
Oh, I can sing. Okay, so I can sing, and it's not that I sing professionally because I don't, but I sing for myself, and it's something that I've done for years. And I notice when I'm not singing that I might be. I go, oh, what's wrong? You're a little off today. Okay, so what's going on? But singing, I love to sing. And I'm not going to sing right now because I have a cold, so don't ask me to.
Well, no, I think you hit on something really important there about tune, because my daughter, at one point I sent her for singing lessons, and she'll tell you she had a terrible voice, and I have a son who won't sing but has perfect pitch pretty much, from what I can figure, but he refuses to do that. And I found that in taking singing lessons, she could tune in. And I kind of looked at that, but also realized as well, when I'm out of tune with my own life, my voice is out of tune. And I think we've actually spoken, one of the people, we have another member who is a singing teacher, and she actually speaks to that as well, about tuning into yourself and your voice. And then we have other people that deal with, the throat chakra. And often when you're not, this isn't working, it's because something needs to come out. So, it's really interesting to see how all of that plays in. Music is tone, music is like vibration, and
right, and how we flow it through. I just want, as a side, I have 3 kids, and my oldest is my son is, I would call him, we always called him Sunny Boy because he was so happy, and he was a whistler, and he would whistle all the time, and he still whistles, and he's a professional musician now, and he plays numerous instruments, but one is the sax, and he plays a couple of hours a day just practicing. He's very devoted, and he's still that sunny, well, he's a man now, but I always see him as that sunny boy. And I swear it's because he's soothing himself and moving the sound through his body constantly. We always know
also, if you apply that to profession, we see success and failure of singers on the stage, but they're singing on a regular basis, and I think they're singing success to themselves too. They're in vibration daily, even if they're even rock stars, or you look at the Rolling Stones, they've been singing in vibration and being in tune their whole lives, and look at them going into their 70s and 80s and they've ups and downs, but they're calling that wealth to them too, and there's a certain vibration to what they're doing. I haven't got the answer to what that is, but there's absolutely something magic about singing and music.
It's true. And we always say music soothes the savage beast, so it's very calming and soothing for people.
Absolutely.
Good.
What is work and what is play for you?
Okay, so that was, I looked at that, and it's a bit tougher for me because my work is my life. So I'm incorporating how I hold my vibration and how I support myself to stay aligned and helping others. So it's definitely, that is a big part of my my work, and I consider it my life. So it's playful too. I would say work for me, though, if I'm thinking about work, it's whenever I have to do stuff on the computer or the marketing aspect and the social media and stuff to do with the IT of the computer. That I'm very organic. I love to talk with people. I love plants. I love touch, feel. And when I have to go into that arena, I can get a little bit blocked and feel a little this. Sometimes I make it harder than I need to, for sure.
I think
So I would say that for sure. And things like I like being outside. So play for me is definitely being out in nature, concerts, plays. I love experience. I love to have experience.
Awesome. Favorite play?
I just went, my favorite play. You know what I went? I went to New York and I went to see Wicked, which was a different spin on The Wizard of Oz. And it's coming to Vancouver this year, and it is amazing for people to go. It's very, very clever. So it's a take on the Wicked Witch, and that she's really not wicked. This whole play, and it's very good. It's a musical.
Okay, sounds interesting. Maybe we'll
and it is coming to Vancouver.
Okay, cool. Is there something you want others to help you achieve or that you need support with?
Probably what I just talked about was the whole IT and the online presence, and whether to do an online program or that sort of, that's not my area of expertise.
When I ask this question, generally it's like, do you think there's a group or like a charity or something that you do that you want people to promote for you?
Oh, okay. So I am part of a charity called MyCan, and it's maternal and infant health, and it's through Canada and also through India. And I work with them, and I always promote that. So many women and children die in third world countries every day that we are not even conscious of that. So it's a program that's developed from UBC, and it's with Dr. Farah Scroff, and she travels to India, and they're working with the different peoples in their community and helping bring the community together so the community can heal. Because in smaller communities, people will leave and go to the big city because there's no work, they can't sustain themselves. So they're working at, taking back Ayurvedic and indigenous healing and getting that back into the community so they can remember their roots and heal. And also clean water and sewage. Big, huge things in third world countries. India has really touched me. So that's an organization, and I can send you the link after we talk for that. It's beautiful.
And it's interesting how it's a reflection of, we still have water issues here in Canada with our Indigenous people.
We do.
And it's, when we bring it up in one country, it lets us help to reflect on what we need to do in our own as well, which is really
and I'm not saying there isn't issues with maternal health here too. But I believe 700 babies die every day.
Whoa.
And a lot is from hypothermia, and because the mother has to go back into the fields and work, so it might be a 5-year-old that's looking after the infant. So they're not wrapped properly and fed properly.
And the extended trauma from that, for sure.
Right.
If you could pick one book that everybody should read, what would it be? Okay,
I have it here because I went and found it. I was looking, and it's Eckhart Tolle, The New Earth. And as you can see, it's dog-eared, and if I open it up, it's underlined. And it was a book that I read this many years ago, and it just was a revelation for me about how we come from the ego, and that we're living in this very small, constructive, third-dimensional, reactive state, and how to look at ways to move out of that. And I found his writing very profound, very profound.
I have such a hard time listening to him. I love what you said about constructed, though. In doing a Bachelor of Fine Arts, I realized how much of our lives is a construct.
Yes.
And we are designed by, two humans have designed another human, and we've been kept in our own little boxes, and then we go out and we find other new little boxes, and we reconstruct, and then we're redesigning ourselves, but really where's the input from that? And now we have to redesign into a relationship with someone else who's come from a different box. And
right. It's
quite complicated.
It's very complicated, and how we sit in this, and that how we the key of just being grounded and being present so that we're not reacting to everything, because, usually it's shoot, ready, aim, and we say things and then we regret, and then we move in this, and that's how we attract. We're all vibration, and how we're attracting someone who's vibrating at the same frequency as us. So a lot of it's pain body, our traumas, and they have traumas, and that was my first marriage for sure. Came together in that. And I've got to agree with you. I don't like to listen to him, but I love him.
And I've gone to
he's boring to listen to.
My dad was one of those guys who I'd go talk about a book like this, and he'd be like, here. He had all of the books that I would be like, hey, have you heard of this? And he's like, here, and he's at, and so I would try, but I didn't have time as a young mom to do a lot of reading. I'm back into reading now after not being able to read for 3 years from a concussion. My eyes just wouldn't do it. And that's one of the books that keeps coming up.
Yes.
Right? So it's really interesting. And then the other person who has really been talking about relationships, I don't know if you've heard of her, is Esther Perel.
No.
Oh, she's just new on the stage. Wow. She's been a psychologist for 30 years or whatever, but she's done her TED Talk and things like that. And it's just like, she's like, we're all talking about the new computer upgrades, this upgrade, that upgrade. We're not about what's the change in our relationships and what a relationship looks like and stuff, and how we have to upgrade our concept of what that is, because of, we're our workplace and our relationship language is getting mixed up and things like that. Like, we're talking about what's our KPI on our relationship, and it's like, hold on, now you used to know what would go on in the village, and everybody know what is in a relationship, if you're having sex or not having sex, or now you have 1,000 people to pick from, whereas when you lived in a village it was like A or B.
I went to a workshop once, this is years ago, and the speaker was talking about relationship, and how for women, we often tend to wear our work hat when we come home at the end of the day, and we'll be directing and driving, but no, you're at home. Like, take that off and be in your space.
Mm-hmm. Well, often
and your
people
partner
just have
and your
nothing left by the time they get home for the most important people in their life, right?
Right.
So
it's relationships, huge.
Well, we'll put a link to that book into the bio as well. What is your favorite thing to do with friends?
I love going out for good food. I love food. I'm a foodie. I think I created a bunch of food snobs in my kids. So they say that to me all the time. So I love good food, and I love going to plays or dancing. I like a lot of movement. I'm very active, so I like movement. And I like to laugh. So, and what else? I've taken up golf in the last 2 years, and I'm not good by any means, and I usually just don't keep score, or I'll pick up the ball if it's not going well, because I'm not going to get in my head about it. But it's such a beautiful analogy of where you are. So if I'm not present and I'm not centered, my balls will fly all over. But if I'm focused and attentive and being in the moment, then I play better. It's very fascinating to me.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that about golf, but that totally makes sense. I've heard about because I wondered why it was such a big sport, because I've never played. I live on a golf course now, but when I heard it from a man's point of view, which was one of the reasons men will play golf with each other, is to find out if the other person cheats. So even if someone will move the ball a little bit, and you're going into business with them, you know that they're going to do that in business as well. And so a reflection of how they play the game is often a reflection of how they'll do business. And so it's part of making the decision as to whether you'll do business with someone, which I thought makes sense.
I'm not at that level yet to even go with people for business. It's some girlfriends and I have got together, but we're having fun, and we walk always. And sometimes, I'm not serious that it's about it, that it's got to be exactly. But I'm playing with a girlfriend who's a bookkeeper, and she always says, what's your score? And I said, I can't remember. So I bought these little balls that there's 10 of them that you can click down every time you have a shot, because sometimes it's 10 shots before I get to the ball, and it is what it is. But I'm just it's more for fun for me, but it's very fascinating about how am I present.
Interesting. I love it. I'm hoping I tried to get on at Nick North here. There's a women's it's very inexpensive as well, but there's only like so many spots that come up in the spring on a Tuesday, and the only night I have is Tuesday nights, and it fills up like that. And I missed it again this year, so definitely going to put that on my radar for sure.
Give it a try. I think it's fun. It is fun. And, if you get stressed, just pick the ball up. Just make it fun. Don't get too much. And once you're in your head, game over. And every hole is it's like a new day. It's a new start. Every moment's a new start. So I like it for that.
Well, we can use that in life as well, can't we?
Yes, we can. Sure.
What is your product that you are rarely without?
That's an easy one for me. It's lavender essential oil. It goes everywhere with me. I think it's known as the universal oil, and you can use it for everything.
Agreed.
Love it. Love it.
What do you hope that you can keep doing 10 to 20 years from now?
Travel and being physical. So travel for me is, I love travel. It takes you learn about new experiences, you go to different cultures. It's very intuitive because you're somewhere new, and you have to trust where you are, and it's exciting, and it's just fills me. I love it. I love travel.
What's your favorite place to go? Or is there a place that you want to go that you haven't been?
I'd say my favorite place to go is the south of France. I love the south of France. There's something very, very special about it. There's something in the energy there that's very soft and very feminine. And also I like to go when the lavender's in bloom. So I'll go up into the high alpine, and I'll go see my suppliers and go and watch distillations. And it's just, it's beautiful. And it's just, I love the south of France, but not Nice and Cannes and that, more the Marseille, further down towards the west, where more the French people would go on holiday. Those regions. I love that. And I also love to travel. And be physical. I'm a hiker. I like to snowshoe. I think I'm going to be able to do that this weekend with all the snow coming. And I like to ride my bike, and I pray that I can be physical as I get older.
And do you have something going on in France, like a group or something?
My plan is a tour. I talked to the travel agent who I use, and she says this spring, I had thought June, I would want to do it in this June, but she said it's too soon, Robyn. So it's going to be June 2021.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. So if anyone's interested in that, get a hold of Robyn.
Yes.
Do you have this is one of my last questions, and it's one of my favorites because, I'm losing my light here, because everyone does it a little differently. What is your life hack you can share with us?
Don't wait till tomorrow what you can do today. Don't sit and go, oh, I'll do that next week, or I'll do that a month from now, or whatever. If you feel inspired and passionate about something, do it now. I have so many deaths in my family, and my brother and I always say, I am not going to be on my deathbed and going, oh, I wish I did that, or I wish I'd done this, because it's just live life now. So don't put off today what you could do tomorrow. Do it now. That's huge for me. I'm always saying that to everybody.
And how do you, because we have such a idea-filled world now, how do you take those, I can think of 50 things that I want to do. How do we prioritize those? Have you found a hack for that?
For me, I would say for you, just jot them all down on a piece of paper. Like do a brain dump, jot them down, and then have a look at them, and then maybe circle 10. Then go back and go, and then go back and just circle them down, and then prioritize them. And be guided, like trust what your heart's pulling you to do. Today it's beautiful right here, and I know it's today, and I'm going to go for a walk at some point in this day and take that time for myself.
Well, we've already had a huge dump up here, so maybe I will go. And my friend of mine just brought back my cross-country skis, so.
Oh, fantastic.
I have something to do it too, but I think I've got time to go throw them on and go for a little slough across the fresh snow. So.
Right, and it doesn't have to be things that take hours and hours to do. It just can be quick little things that just bring you back, make you happy, because really we're here to be happy and be filled with joy and be playful.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
I love Abraham Hicks. She says, if you can just feel good for 17 seconds. Cause I know I've got some clients and sometimes some coaches that I'm dealing with who are like, my clients are in such a depression. I can't help them even get started because they're in the dumps. So I'm like 17 seconds, and then you have to add 17 seconds on top of that sometimes of just trying to feel good, whether it's doing something physical for 17 seconds so you forget what your problems are, and just try and feel good for just a few minutes, because then you can start you've got something to work with and something to add on and layer, right?
It's true. I wanted to just share with you, my youngest daughter lives in Victoria, and she was not going to come for Christmas this year. And I respect everybody, and okay. And then I was going over to visit her after in Victoria. And so my brother was having Christmas this year. So we went there Christmas Day, and he loves to make goofy little videos with the faces, and they're doing the dance, whatever the dance is. So he's got a picture of my daughter, his son, and their dog, and they're dancing around. And he starts, they're dancing, he's giggling, and I'm going, what's going on? What's going on? And he says, so I'm watching this, and he says, turn around, and there's my daughter, Melissa. And they surprised me and my kids and flew her out for Christmas.
Oh.
And I just burst, it's surreal to see your child, but you don't expect them to be there. So I burst into tears. And I must say, the love, I know they love me. I know they do. But the love I felt that they had done that for me was, it can make me cry again. It's so deep. And I'm just tapping into that constantly, that love, that feeling of feeling so loved by people. And the love it's generating in me. It was truly the best gift I've ever had.
I get that. My kids came to visit me for the first time this Christmas. It was just a couple days, but I had my son who's 23, my daughter who's 25, her 2 kids, her son and her husband. And then, it was just so nice. And then we had a huge dinner party. So they got to meet who my friends are too. And they're just it was just nice to bring my worlds together.
Beautiful.
It makes it all real. So.
It's you feel it, you can feel it in your heart. It's amazing. So I'm really, when I'm manifesting now, I'm just going into that feeling. It's so quick. So you were talking about the 17 seconds. So it's so quick for me to be there and then going, okay, what are you bringing in?
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope everyone can work on that today, that 17 seconds. I know it's going to be hard for some people today. Thank you so much for sharing. And I hope your trip to California is really safe, and we'll meet up afterwards. I'm going to do a masterclass with Robyn on her topic of burnout to balance as well. And we'll do something more extended than her talk at the ladies meeting. If you do want to come out and see her live, I would connect with her personally, because if you are not a member, then she has some free tickets for you. So what's the best? I'll put a link to Robyn's Facebook page you can message her, or she's also on the Entrepreneur Collective, and you can PM her there if you've created a profile. It's a free profile, so easy way, lots of ways to get connected with her. And you can also visit her on her website,
Circle of Life Center, and center is CENTRE.ca.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time today. I'm going to hit stop record, and we can chat after.
Thank you so much for having me and letting me share, and thank you. You're doing beautiful work.
It's been a gift. Thank you so much.